Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. I have said for a long time that I don't really like out-the-front knives. But the funny thing about knives is that if you give yourself enough chance, enough opportunity with various types of knives, inevitably one might land in your hand that can change your mind at least about that knife. Now, this is the Heretic Knives Manticore X. Now, this is not mine, it's a loaner, and it's not the only Heretic knives that I've had a chance to play with, right? I have this, which I really, really like. This was put in my hands not that long ago by somebody who said, look, man, you just got to try it out. You may change your mind. And I was like, nah, I've had Combat Trudons, Microtechs, I've had Vespas, I've had, well, lots of OTFs, and I've never sort of fallen for one until this thing. This is just a spectacular bit of kit. It is an S35 VN blade. It is titanium handle. It has a really nice pocket clip that just does the job. It's not ostentatious. It is sort of mean looking. It is an excellent cutter. Really, this is a superb knife. And, I'm not above admitting I was wrong. It turns out there is, in fact, an OTF out there kind of for everybody if you're looking. I can't tell you exactly what it is about this that's different, but it's a combination of things. We're going to go back to the blade. Now, the grind on this thing is gorgeous. It really is beautiful. It has a lovely edge. It's sort of compact. It has multiple angles. It's got a really nice satin flat here, and then the actual blade itself has got grind lines that run parallel to that flat, which is just fantastic. The action is very good. This has what I like in an OTF. There are some things that I've learned to like. One is it's got a release point, so you give it a little bit of pressure, right? There. That's the spot. And then after that, you get the blade. It has a nice amount of blade for the handle. Now, I've heard other people complain that the Heretics have a little less blade than for handle, but, whatever. Part of that, I think, is that this handle has a little built-in glass breaker, which I don't care about, but unlike having a giant tower screwed onto the end of the knife, like a lot of Microtechs do, this is built into the aluminum, and so it makes the handle appear longer, I think, than a traditional Microtech. But in the end, really, if you take this part off with this nice lanyard hole, they're really about the same. This is not the same size as a Combat Trudon, although it is close. It's a really nice size knife, and it carries, because of this clip, very well. Let's do some size comparisons. Here it is against the PM3, and as you can see, it is considerably larger than the PM3, right? Let's see what else is on the table. Oh, well, here is a Kershaw Launch 1 Auto, which is a very nice knife. The Manticore X here is bigger, although you do have this lovely belly on the Launch 1. What else do we have on the table that's fun to share? Here it is against an XM18. It is bigger than the XM18, more blade, more handle, right? What else do we have? Oh, here it is against the new blacked out Gobi from CJRB. This is in their new AR RPM 9 powdered steel. This is gorgeous. Now, I've done a review on the Gobi before, but this one's going to get another longer look because it's really spectacular. But anyway, the point is that this is a reasonably large knife. And as you guys know, I like a good-sized knife. And part of the reason I love this thing is this handle. It is shaped, both sides, in such a way that it really locks into the hand very well. It's got jimping on the blade, which, it turns out that I don't use a lot, but I do like it when it's there. It makes the knife feel a little more versatile. It allows you to come farther up on the knife. A lot of traditional OTFs don't have this, or they're even double-sided, and so you're really limited to the back of the handle, which is great for, you know, stabbing, but not so great for sort of daily cutting, and yet this thing manages to do EDC tasks exceptionally well. It's really been a joy. Now, of course, here in California, you're not supposed to carry one of these. You're not supposed to carry automatics. So, of course, I don't. You know, whatever. So, please know the laws in your area before you look for something like this. I have cut everything I usually cut. Cardboard and paper and tape and some seatbelt material and 550 paracord. Because it's S35VN, I even cut some food. It's not a spectacular table knife because of the way it's designed, but it did the job just fine. This is a real win, and these are about $300, which makes them half the price of one of the higher-end, larger Microtechs. It's really hard to go wrong. Now, again, $300 is a lot of money, but there's an OTF premium. It's one of the reasons that I really don't have a lot of them, and I don't spend a lot of time with them on the channel, because you don't get the same amount of knife for $300 that you might get somewhere else. But if you're into this sort of thing, this is a really nice, it's just a really good direction to go. So let's get some basic specs out of the way. You get 1, 2, 3, and about 3.5 inches of cutting on 3 3/4 inches of S35VN. The grip area from right there at the edge is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4 out to the back is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, excuse me, and 1/4 out to the very back. But the actual grip area is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4, which is, it's plenty of room, you know. Width-wise, we are just at 1 inch, right? Which is really, I think, one of the reasons that I enjoy this thing. Now, this dimension, let's get the calipers out and take a look. The blade stock, if you're into that sort of thing, it's just over 3 millimeters, which for an OTF is a reasonably nice thick blade. It's not a laser beam because it's sort of a saber grind up to this flat, but, you know, it's very slicey. The handle itself is 11 millimeters, or I know how to count. It's under 1/2 inch, right? So it's lean this way, nice, thick enough this way to be comfortable. The blade itself, God, I really hope that comes through in the video. This thing is, there we go. I mean, look at that. I love that it's swedged across the top and swells right at the tip for strength. You know, I suppose if you're going to get into a gas station argument, this is a great knife for that. But let me tell you something. After having this thing around for a week or so, it's just a great knife. It really is. You know, I don't have a lot of autos. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7, I think, total in the collection. Here in California, we're allowed to own them. We're just not supposed to carry them out into the world. So, of course, I don't. And again, please know your laws in your area. There are some places where they get really angry about these really fast. And if you live in one of those places, as much as I hate to say it, just sort of skip it, because that's a burn you don't need. Here in California, you're not really supposed to carry them. So, you know, whatever. But if you really live in a place where they are ultra militant about these, please avoid them, because I'd hate to see anybody get in trouble. I like Heretic knives. I know that you pay a premium for them, but my experience so far has been that you get sort of what you pay for. Both of these are superb knives. The Wraith, which is this, is just an excellent pocket knife. Now, they make an auto version of this as well. This is the manual, so that I get no grief here in California. This is a CPM 154. CPM 154 blade. It's hollow ground. It's very nice. This is an upgrade. The same aluminum, but this is S35VN. And it seems to be done really well. Again, look at that blade. Yeah, okay, I'm having a little bit of a romance with that blade shape, but man, is that thing beautiful. And you know that matters. I mean, it's, to me, as a collector, some people carry a knife just because it's a useful tool, and I will never argue with that, not in a million years. The PM3 here is a really good example of that. That is not, okay, some people can disagree, but Spyderco doesn't make what I consider to be terribly attractive knives, but wow, do they work, right? This is a great knife just because it works. Some companies make excellent knives that look great to me and also work very well. The Gobi is from CJRB is another example of that. This is a knife that works, is a superb EDC knife that also manages to bring a fair amount of style into the picture. I am 100% okay with that. Most OTFs look really utilitarian to me. I think it's the sort of simple blade grinds or whatever. I don't know what it, again, I don't know what makes this knife so special for me. I really don't. But I just don't generally like them. And then this thing comes along and proves to me that there is literally something of every style of knife for everybody. Even if you think, I don't like flippers, there's a flipper that you might like. I don't like thumb stud knives. There's probably a thumb stud knife out there that you don't like. I don't like knives in this blade steel or that blade steel or on bearings, or the list is endless. And it turns out that OTFs should be afforded the same thoughtfulness, because even if you haven't had one yet that you like, it doesn't mean you won't stumble across one that really catches your eye, as happened here with the Manticore X. I am really into this thing. Let's go ahead and weigh it as we close this out. It is not super light, so let's see what that really means. Okay, old classic scale. Yeah, we're at 4.8 ounces for a 3.75 inch blade. So we're over the ounce per inch that a lot of people like. But I personally, and in the end, since it's my channel and that's what matters to me, like the weight. It manages to be, well, it kind of disappears in the pocket because of its shape. But it feels good in hand. The action is snappy. I love that sound. This is just a really... You know, it's funny. People always ask me how come I don't do negative reviews. I don't like to review knives that I don't like. It's boring. It's not interesting to me. If you want to watch reviews for people bashing stuff, there's a million things out there that you can do on YouTube and other outlets that'll do that. But I'm not afraid to talk about what I don't like. I don't like this or I don't like it, whatever. But, I've learned a lesson again with this, which is what I really mean to say is that I haven't liked an OTF that I've had so far, because this thing, well, I really like it. Now, I had a Vespa, which you may have seen on another video, and I really enjoyed that thing. It had a wonderful blade grind. A lot of the same things appealed to me about that knife as that brought me to this thing, I think, except that one, in the end, wasn't nearly as comfortable for me, and so I let it go, right? I gave it back to the person who I got it from, and it was sort of like, well, that's another example of an OTF that I don't really love, and then this dang thing came along. Well, so there we are. This is the Heretic Knives Manticore X. It is a big, beefy, and sort of beautiful OTF. Super simple in design, with all of the really artistry going into the blade grind, which I really enjoy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I have been a Therapeutic Edge. This has been the Heretic Knives Manticore X. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.